Welcome to Sleepy Historian, where old tales whisper by candlelight, and memories gently drift into dreams. Tonight, let us journey back to a time long asleep in history. Tonight, we journey far back in time, beyond the pages of history books, beyond the stone walls of great empires, to a land of wind and sand, and to a city older than memory. Caral, hidden in the deserts of coastal Peru, a city that rose without metal, without writing, and without war. While pyramids stood tall in Egypt, and cities bloomed in Mesopotamia, Caral, quiet and wise, was already watching the stars. For centuries, it slept beneath the dust, its stories buried, its people forgotten. But the earth remembers, and now, so will we. Let the lights dim, let your thoughts grow still, and let us walk together, step by step, through a world reborn from silence. The oldest city of the Americas. Nestled in the Supe Valley, along the arid northern coast of Peru, lies the ancient city of Caral, often called the oldest city in the Americas. The land here is harsh, a desert climate, dry winds, scarcely a drop of rain. Days are hot, and nights cold. It seems an unlikely place for a city to rise. And yet, more than 4,600 years ago, around 2600 BCE, a remarkable civilization bloomed from this unforgiving soil. Caral was thriving at the very same time that the Great Pyramids of Egypt were being built, and when cities like Uruk in Mesopotamia were rising. The story of Caral reminds us that South America was never just an untouched wilderness in prehistory. Far from it. Here, in the midst of desert sands, a vast, organized urban society took shape, built not with conquest or war, but with ingenuity and harmony. While other civilizations relied on fertile floodplains or rich river valleys, Caral emerged in a land of scarcity. It is a quiet testament to the creativity and resilience of ancient peoples. A whisper from the past, telling us that where there is vision, even the desert can bloom. Today, the rediscovery of Caral has reshaped how archaeologists understand the history of cities. No longer is urban life thought to have begun only in the Old World. Instead, Caral opens new questions about where civilization began, and how its roots stretched across the world, long before anyone knew. Despite lacking the technologies we usually associate with urban progress, no wheels, no metal tools, and no writing system, the people of Caral built something extraordinary. A vast, sustainable city, complex, carefully planned, spanning more than 60 hectares. Caral rose with elegance. Ceremonial plazas, public buildings, residential zones, and at its heart, 6 massive stone and earth pyramids that have withstood the centuries. The largest of these pyramids rises nearly 20 meters, as tall as a modern 6-story building. Constructed from millions of tons of layered earth and stone, it's a monumental feat achieved by hands, rope, and will. No machines, just vision. The people of Caral used an ingenious construction method called shikra, bags woven from plant fibers, filled with small stones. These were stacked into the pyramid layers, acting both as construction material and as a shock absorber during frequent earthquakes. This is the oldest known form of earthquake-resistant architecture in the Americas. Even without written records, the layout of Caral speaks clearly. Sunken circular plazas for gathering, organized neighborhoods with clear hierarchies, public and sacred spaces, deliberately placed. Caral was more than a settlement. It was a statement of order, purpose, and shared belief. No writings were left behind, no symbols carved in stone. And yet, every structure, every plaza, every foundation stone whispers of a people who understood community, architecture, and the long story of time. Caral still speaks, even in silence. One of the most remarkable things about Caral is what was not found. Archaeologists uncovered dozens of ceremonial structures and residential zones. Yet no weapons, no fortresses, no walls, no mass graves, no wounded bones, no signs of violence. Caral stands as one of the rare examples of a prehistoric society that thrived in peace. While many civilizations invested in armies and defenses, Caral chose another path. There were no garrisons here, no barricades, no signs of conquest. Instead, they built plazas wide, open spaces, not for war, but for gathering, for music, for ritual, for light and fire and human connection. Rather than rule by fear, the people of Caral appear to have been united by something else: shared belief, rituals, music, a sense of the sacred. In the firelit plazas, the sound of instruments, flutes made of bone, and drums of hide, may have echoed through the desert nights, weaving bonds stronger than walls. This long peace may reflect something deeper: a stable economy, a reliable exchange system, enough food, enough trade, enough trust, so there was no need to fight. Caral didn't conquer, it connected. And in doing so, it endured. Caral offers a quiet lesson, whispered across 4,000 years. That progress need not come through conquest. That a society can grow without fear. That peace is not a weakness, but a vision, far ahead of its time. Beneath the towering pyramids and ceremonial plazas, the people of Caral lived lives shaped by rhythm, not just of ritual, but of survival. Though the land was dry and rain was rare, they thrived beside the Supe River, using its seasonal waters to nourish their fields. Cotton, beans, chili peppers, squash, and potatoes all took root in the desert soil. Cotton played a central role in their world. It clothed them, warmed them, and more importantly, it was currency, a valuable good for trade. From their highland farms, the people of Caral exchanged cotton for dried fish and shells from the Pacific coast. Caral did not stand alone. Through intricate trade networks, they sent their cotton and crops to coastal communities, receiving in return dried fish, seashells, and other marine treasures. It was a quiet web of exchange, one that bound together highlands and coast, and helped preserve the peace. But life in Caral was more than crops and trade. It had rhythm. Archaeologists found dozens of musical instruments, flutes, trumpets, and pipes, crafted delicately from bird and animal bones. These sounds may have filled the plazas, carrying prayers into the night sky. In Caral, survival was not just labor, it was sacred. To plant, to trade, to play music. These were not separate acts, but part of a deeper unity, a harmony between spirit, society, and earth. Here, life was more than survival, it was song. Once, Caral was the shining heart of an early American civilization. Its plazas echoed with music. Its pyramids watched over daily life. And then, silence. Like so many ancient cities, Caral too would fade. But its ending came not with fire or sword. It came gently, quietly. There were no burned walls, no fallen fortresses, no bones pierced by weapons. Archaeologists found no sign of invasion, no chaos in the end, only abandonment, as if the people of Caral simply walked away. The reasons remain unknown, but many believe the skies changed first. Drought may have gripped the valley, crops withered, the river grew weak. Without food or water, the people could no longer stay. Some say it was trade that failed them. When coastal routes broke down, Caral could no longer rely on its exchange networks. Without goods to give or receive, it lost its place as a center. The silence grew. There was no tragedy, only time, only change. Caral's fall was not a collapse, but a whisper, a reminder that even great civilizations stand upon delicate balance between earth and water, between order and the wild. For centuries, the quiet mounds scattered across the Supe Valley were overlooked, just hills, nothing more. Baked by the Peruvian sun and swept by desert winds, these ruins waited, hidden in plain sight. It wasn't until the 1990s that a determined woman, Dr. Ruth Shady, began to listen to what the earth had buried. With patience and purpose, she and her team began to excavate. Slowly, the city revealed itself, stone by stone, layer by layer. The discovery sent ripples across the world. Caral was not a scattered village. It was a city, ancient, organized, as old as Egypt, as old as Mesopotamia. And it was here in the heart of the Americas. In 2009, Caral was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site, not just for its age, but for what it represents. A civilization born not of conquest, but of knowledge, of vision, of balance between people and place. Caral's rediscovery is more than history. It is a reminder of what humans can build, even in the harshest lands, of how far thought can reach. Caral rose once, then fell. Now it speaks again, whispering stories into the winds of time. And now, the winds grow still again. We have walked through a city of silence, where pyramids rose without steel, where peace reigned without armies, and where music spoke when words did not exist. Caral was never meant to last forever. But in its rise and fall, it left something deeper than stone, a memory of what humans can be when they build, not for conquest, but for connection, balance, and wonder. It reminds us that greatness can bloom in the harshest places, that harmony can shape a civilization as surely as ambition, and that even when the people are gone, their spirit lingers, carried in the dust, the sky, and in stories like this one. So tonight, as you close your eyes, know that somewhere in the quiet deserts of Peru, beneath stars unchanged for 4,000 years, the city of Caral still breathes softly, a whisper from the first pages of time. Sleep well, and let the past keep watch. Tonight's story comes to a close. If your eyes have gently shut, then I wish you a deep, peaceful sleep, until we meet again in the next dream.